Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom. Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov be'einecha
in our prayer book to Shalom Aleichem, which is on page 5. Is this on again? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Yeah, it's on. Okay. Shalom Aleichem as we welcome the angels in our midst. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Zeichem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Malachei Hamlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Welcome Kabbalat Shabbat with Lechuna Ranina. Let us go and sing to the Lord. Page 11. Lechuna Ranina, Lechuna Ranina, Lechuna Ranina. lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, lekadma bana betoda. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, bizmiro naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena Arba'im shana kud bedor v'omar amto elevavhem vehem lo yadu derachai asher nishpati v'yapi im yevon el menuchati. On page 13, Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, we sing a new song to the Lord, and this one is just an easy one. It's a call and response, so just sing after me. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Baruch Hu Shemo, Basumi Yom Leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai Baruch Hu Shemo, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Sabru Vodom Shemai Masa Ladonai Kavod Shemo Zu Mincha Takavu Ladonai Kodesh. Let the heavens be glad, the sea and all it contains roar in praise. Yismechu Hashamayim on page 14. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, B'tagel Haaretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, B'tagel Haaretz. Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam, Me'umelo. Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam, Me'umelo. Yismechu Hasham, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hasham, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, B'tagel Haaretz. Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpotei b'tzedek v'amim b'emunato. And if we turn to page 16, Or zaru ala tzadik ul yishrei lev simcha, line is sown for the righteous, and the joy for the upright in heart. 4 lines from the bottom on page 16. Or zaru ala la 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 tzadik. Or zaru la 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 tzadik u Yisrael simcha u Yisrael simcha u Yisrael simcha ha ha. Or zaru la 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 tzadik. Or zaru la 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 tzadik u Yisrael simcha u Yisrael simcha u Yisrael simcha ha ha. You guys are getting good at that one. Oh my goodness. Okay. Impressed. All right. We'll continue. Wow. On page 18. Zamru ladonai bechinor bechinor v'kol zimra. As we call out to God, we break out in joyful singing, which I think we can say we did. Sing to Adonai to the music of the lyre, and the voices, as we make beautiful music together this Shabbat evening. 3 lines from the top on page 18. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor b'kol zimra, b'chatzotzrot, b'kol shofar, haru libnei hamelech Adonai, yiram hayam umlo, tevel veyoshveva, neharot yimcha uchav yachad, harim yiraneinu. Ibnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpotei b'tzedek v'amim b'mesharim. On page 19. Adonai malach gezu amim yoshev keruvim tanud haaretz. Oz melech mishpat tzedakah sing. Romu Adonai Eloheinu v'shtachavu la'adam raglav kadoshu Moshe v'Aaron. On page 23, lines from the bottom, Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu le'har kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu le'har kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu le'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ro'emu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ro'emu. Ro'emu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu le'har kodesho. Ro'emu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu le'har kodesho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu page 21. Mizmor leDavid, Avul Adonai Benelim, Avul Adonai Kavod Va'oz, Avul Adonai Kevod Shemo, Ishtachavu Adonai Behadrat Kodesh. Kol Adonai Hamayim El HaKavod Irim Adonai Hamayim Rabim Kol Adonai Ba'koah Kol Adonai Behadar Kol Adonai Shover Arazim Vaishaber Adonai Et Hazei Havanon Vayarkidem Kemo Egel Libanon Vesirion Kemo Vein Re'emim Kol Adonai Chotzev Lavotesh Kol Adonai Achir Midbar Yachir Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Echol Layalot Vayechesov Ye'aron Uvehechalo Kulo Omer Kavod Kulo Omer Kavod Adonai Lamavu Yashav Vayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitein Adonai Yevarech Et Amo Vashalom. And we turn to page 23 as we welcome the Sabbath bride Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nai Shabbat Nekavela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nai Shabbat Nekavela Shamor V'Zachor B'Dibur Echad Tishmi'anu El Hamyuchad Adonai Echad Ushmo Echad L'Shemu Tifer V'Litila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nai Shabbat Nekavela Likrat Shabbat Lechu V'Nelcha Mekor HaBeracha Merosh Mikedem Nesucha Sof Ma'aseh Makshavat Tehila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nai Shabbat Nekavela Mikdash Melech Yimeluha Umitzei Mitoravecha Ravlach Shevet be'emek havacha ve'muyachamo alaichem la lecha dodi likrat kala b'nai Shabbat nekavela ina ari me'afargumi livshi bigdei tivadechami ayad benishai be'halachmi karva Na'avshi Ye'ala Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nai Shabbat Nekavela Itoreri Ki ba'orech umi uri Shir ba'veri Kevod Adonai Alayich nigla Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nai Shabbat Nekavela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nai Shabbat Nekavela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nai Shabbat Nekavela Lo Tevoshi Velo Tikami Matishtochechi Uma'atemi Bach Yechesu Ani Ami Beniv Neta Iratila Lecha Dodi Likrat ka'ala B'nai Shabbat negavela V'hayu limshisa shosayich veracha kul kol mevalai yasis alaich Elohayich kimsos katan akala lechadoli ligrar ka'ala B'nai Shabbat negavela Yamin u'smol tiperot tzivayet Adonai ta'aritzi ayarish bein paretzi v'nis lecha v'nagila lechadoli ligvar ka'ala B'nai Shabbat negavela Boi v'shalom aderet ba'ala gam besimcha uvetzolato kemunei am segulat boi chala lechado ligraka B'nai Shabbat nekavela. Please be seated. We'll continue on page 27, Psalm for Shabbat. Mizamor shir leyom hashabbat tov lehodol la'Adonai ulezamer leshimcha elyon ulezamer leshimcha elyon lehagiv baboker chasdecha be'emunat hamalelot alei asor balei navel alei higayon bechino mizmor shir leyom hashabbat tov lehodol la'Adonai ulezamer leshimcha elyon ulezamer leshimcha elyon להגיב בבוקר צגמורה בלילות רוב שעים ושם יד ואתה מלון Page 28 Tzadik Katamar Tzadik Katamar yifrach כארז בלבנון יזכה שתולים בהבית אדוני בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו אור עיני בון בסבע דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולתה בו יללה 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 יללה
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll grow into it. As unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. So we've just finished Kabbalat Shabbat. Does anyone know, according to Jewish law, according to Halakha, how important is Kabbalat Shabbat? That's right. It has no importance whatsoever. How do we know? How do you know it's not important? Now, by the way, that doesn't mean it's not important. But from a halachic point of view, from a legal point of view, there's no, in fact, anyone here a Litvak? Oh, I'm so sorry. The Litvak tradition, they don't do Kabbalat Shabbat. Right. Okay. Now, do you know why it doesn't have any authenticity or halachic importance? That could, well, considering Litvaks, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm sorry? There are no brachas. There's no Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Because when a prayer is important, halachically, it has to have that phrase. That's not in Kabbalat Shabbat. Kabbalat Shabbat has a very different point of view. Not only a different point of view, but a different purpose. And the purpose is outlined in this Hasidic story. By the way, this is not the sermon. Okay? Just want to warn you about that. So it's a Hasidic story, which means that it's probably true or not. So the students come to the Rebbe and they say to the Rebbe, what is the proper intention? What are we supposed to think about while we're praying? And of course, it's a Hasidic story, so there can't be there's no answer, or at least there's no obvious answer. The Rebbe says, follow me, and they all follow him. And he goes to the center of town where there's a circus. Just happens to be a circus. And he goes in, and they all sit down in the circus, and the Rebbe says, well, there's your answer. And of course, the students, being students, said, we don't get it. And the Rebbe said, you see things, but you don't understand them. He said, take a look at the high wire act. Take a look at the person who is walking from one end of the high wire to the next. He said, while he's on the wire, he's not thinking about what he's going to have for lunch. And he's not thinking about where his parking space was. And he's not thinking about what's going to happen next week. The only thing he's thinking about is putting one foot in front of the other and not falling. He said, that's the way it's supposed to be for prayer. Now, the rabbis understood that's the intention you're supposed to have. And whether or not that's the halachic point of view is a whole different story, which we're not going to get into today. But the purpose of Kabbalat Shabbat is to get us into the mood for the formal evening prayer, which will have blessings in it. It will have brachot. So Kabbalat Shabbat was developed in Tzfat, in the city of Tzfat, probably 15th, 16th century by the mystics. And they put it into the liturgy so that by the time they got to the Baruch Hu, they'd be ready to pray. And that's what we hope for ourselves every single time. Baruch Hu.
39a. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים בחוכמה פותח שערים ובביאונם משנה עתים ומחליף הזמנים מסדר הכוכבים במשמעותיה ברקיע כרצונו בורא יום ולילה גואל מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור ומביא יום ומביא לילה ומביא בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. Page 40. Excuse me. Page 40, yes, that was right. Okay. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה מצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשופנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו באורך ימינו והם נגי יומם ולילה יומם ולילה ובדך לשים ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהי Adonai Echad. Together, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha b'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha yom alevavecha b'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivdecha b'veitecha b'derech uv'shokbecha v'kumecha ukshartam leot ayadecha v'hayu letodavot b'neinecha uktabtam beitecha u'visharecha. Continue praying silently, individually, page 42. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Emet v'munako zot v'kayam aleinu ki Adonai Eloheinu ve'ein latova anachnu Yisrael amo. We affirm the truth that He is our God, that there is no other, and that we are His people, Israel. On page 44, we continue. Umalchuto v'ratzon kivlu aleihem Moshe u'Miriam u'Bnei Yisrael echanu shira v'simcha rabba ve'amru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha neda b'kodesh norati lo dosevele Malchutecha ra'u vanecha v'keyam ibnei Moshe ze'eliyanu ve'yameru Adonai imlo le'olam va'ed v'nemar kivad Adonai Yaakov ugelo michazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai gale Yisrael. On page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu alechaim shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha v'regnam b'tzad avam yafanecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha baruch atah Adonai Aporei sukat shalom aleinu al kol amo Yisrael ve'aleinu. We rise, we turn to page 46, Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורות ולעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורות ולעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai Et Hashamayim Be'et Ha'ar Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat Lasot Et HaShabbat Ledorotam Itolam Ubayom HaShvi Shabbat Vayinapash Shabbat Vayinapash Shabbat Vayinapash Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat Lasot Et HaShabbat Ledorotam Beritolam Yikada ve'yikada Shemei Rabbah Ve'amad Ivrachirute Ve'am Nigmachute V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'meru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'alam ulam me'almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach Yitba'ar v'yitoma v'yinase v'yitada v'yitale v'yitalal Hashem Erekudesha Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbecha tavenechemata Da'amiram be'ama v'yimeru We begin the silent Amidah on page 47, and it is Shabbat Rosh Chodesh this weekend, so we add the paragraph on page 50. you turn to page 53. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון כהני שמיים וארץ, מגן אבות בדברו, מחיי מתים במאמרו, האל הגדול שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי בם רצה להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם, לפניו נבוא ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד מן הברכות. אל ההודעות אדון השלום, מקדש השבת בורק שביעי, ומניח בקדושה למקדוש שני עונג, זכר למעשה בראשית. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו נצא במנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך ותנוחנו בתורתך, שמנו מטובך ושמנו אדוני אלוהינו ויבא ברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה ישראל מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. קדיש שלם, page 54. יתקרא וקדש שמי רבה, ועמד דברה קרותי, ועמליק מלכותי, בחיי כהונה וימכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה וזמן קריב אמרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולם ימיה. יתברך וישתבח ויבער וישמע וינשא ותדע ותעלה ותעלה שמי קודשה לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה מרבי עמה ואמרו אמן. תקבץ אותו כל עובד וכל נקו ישראל קדם ובהון וישמעיה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה משמעיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
We're having committee meetings.
Yeah,
so
we use. Isn't this what they do at the
Yes,
you know
during the
yes
Shabbat.
during the we don't know you usually can ask Rabbi will speak. Yes.
So, one of the most important questions that's asked in the Talmud is one of the disputes between Hillel, the school of Hillel, and the school of Shammai. I don't know if you're familiar with Hillel and Shammai, but if you are familiar with Hillel and Shammai, you know that they were two leaders roughly in the first century of the Common Era. They were the two leaders of the Jewish community, and they were diametrically opposed on just about everything. In fact, they didn't agree on anything. And we're going to learn an awful lot about Hillel and Shammai as we go forward, because they're two of my favorite people in the world. Well, actually, I like Shammai. I'm not so sure about Hillel. But they have a dispute, and the dispute is about a wedding. Now, since it's very dear to my heart, since my daughter got married on February 18th, and by the way, if any of you have seen the thank you notes yet, no one has. So she just told me yesterday that she was getting ready to write them. So the dispute between Hillel and Shammai is there is a mitzvah, a commandment, that when you're at a wedding, you are required to make the bride and the groom happy. It's called in Hebrew Mesameach Hatan V'Kala. Supposed to compliment the bride. So then the question the Talmud asks is, a question that many of us have asked, I'm positive, at one time or another, what if the bride is really ugly? Are you required to tell her that she's beautiful? Right, if you want to live, yes. But it's a dispute between Hillel and Shammai, and Hillel says you have to tell her, you have to lie, and Shammai says you're not allowed to lie. Now, by the way, I know every bride is beautiful on her day and everything like that, but no. The dispute in the Talmud works like this. If she's really ugly, then are you required to tell her how beautiful she is? And again, as I said, Hillel says yes, Shammai says no. We'll come back to that. One of the questions that was asked at the meet and greet was, do I have a favorite joke? And I have to admit I lied. I didn't tell you my favorite joke. And the reason I didn't tell you my favorite joke was because it's a little off-putting. So now that I'm here, I'm going to tell you the joke. How many Zionists does it take to change a light bulb? Does anyone know? 4. What? Oh, absolutely. 4. 1 to donate the light bulb, 1 to screw it in, 1 to declare that the entire Jewish people stand behind this action, and 1 to declare that this is the worst thing that's ever happened to the Jewish people. Now, one of the major differences between Jewish humor and almost any other type of humor you can think of is that Jewish humor has a point. It's rarely just given for humor purposes. There's always a teaching moment. And this is one of the most important teaching moments, I believe, in our tradition. Because it's very simple to say, we agree, we disagree. But what the joke says is, it takes 4 different types of people to be Zionists. If you think about the way in which the joke is created, the grammar, the syntax, and the way it's parsed, it's how many Zionists does it take to change a light bulb? All 4 of them are Zionists. And when we talk about what Zionism actually is, many of us will not agree. But we are all together. As long as we believe we're all together, then there is power in our Zionism. And the lesson that is taught by this joke is that we really are a community that's made up of different opinions. But as long as we strive to be a community, it's okay to have different opinions. Now, we're going to jump from Zionism. Can you think of any other ritual or liturgy in which there are 4 different types of people all sitting together at the same table? Passover Seder. My favorite, by the way, is the Rasha, the evil one, because I think he's the only one who's got it right. But we'll wait for Passover to get there. What's important is that all 4 of them are sitting at the table. And the Seder itself recognizes that there are 4 different types of people sitting at the table, and that's okay as long as they're sitting together. Shlomo Riskin, an Orthodox rabbi who lives in Efrat, wrote a long time ago that there are really 5 children. There's the good one, the bad one, the simple one, or the pure one, depending on how you translate it, and the one who doesn't know how to ask. And the 5th one is the one who's not there. And he's right, because as long as we're all around the Seder table, we are all part of the same community. So with that in mind, let's come back to Hillel and Shammai. Hillel and Shammai have this disagreement, and it's one of the most profound disagreements, even though it doesn't seem that way, because the question is, are you allowed to lie to make someone feel good as opposed to telling them the truth? The answer doesn't matter as much as recognizing that Hillel and Shammai are on opposite sides of the line. But the text continues farther on, and it says, even though they never agreed on anything, and sometimes came to blows, the children of Hillel's disciples, and the children of Shammai's disciples were allowed to marry each other. which is a very powerful statement, which says that even if we don't agree with someone politically, religiously, or in any way whatsoever, as long as we're part of the same community, we create that community. That's the type of community I've seen here, and I'm very proud to be part of it. I'm very happy to be part of it and honored. We will continue with whatever we're supposed to continue with.
I think we'll do Kiddush in the lobby.
Okay.
And we'll continue with the Aleinu on page 56. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'tegedu l'leotzer b'reshit shelo asanu k'goyei araso v'lo samanu k'vish b'kol hagama shelo samchokenu kahem v'gor aleinu k'kol hamonam anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech ha'amim hakadosh baruch shehu notei shamayim ve'yoseh haaretz u'moshe b'karo b'shamayim madinatu zo v'kol hein meronim hu Eloheinu Elohim Elokeinu Efesulato Kakatu B'torato V'yadatayon V'hashivota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim B'shamayim Haaretz Mitachareinu Eno. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed
V'ne'ema Haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu Yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. This week, we remember the yortzites of Alan Karp, Abraham Eisen, Risha Erdheim, Michael Allen Feld, Lawrence Fisher, Susan Glauberman, Neil Grossman, Brian Michael Hecht, Pearl Karpas, Louis Kasserich, Howard Kozel, Lillian Lafer, Litman Litow, Martha Marcus, Lily Mazer, Richard Moskowitz, Myra Richmond Togut, Robert Sandler, Jake Matthew Steckler, Joshua Stauk, Henrietta Zankman. Are there any yortzites that I've missed? Will all those who wish please recite Mourner's Kaddish with me on page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah Bi'olma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mivarach le'olam le'omei olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekutsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bi'olma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Announcements. come to Friday night services to hear Rabbi Bayer's first sermon. Oh, no, that was. Sorry. Come and mingle at 6 p.m. next Friday, July 12th, before Shabbat services with wine and cheese. And we're trying to hold Friday night services outdoors in July and August. I'm happy to say that we did not go outside today, weather permitting. We'll post on the website by 1 p.m. each Friday whether services will be inside or outside, and everything is casual, no ties. Okay? I didn't know that. I didn't read that. So join us on the Silverman Family Sports Court to brush up on your pickleball skills. See the upcoming programs page on our website. Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. in this chapel, there is minyan, and there's a cup of coffee afterwards, along with orange juice and a bagel, and you can have all three. Join the Sisterhood Summer Book Club on Tuesday, July 9th at 7:30 p.m. when they will discuss the book Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. For details on how to RSVP, check today's Shabbat booklet or the e-Garret. And bring your little ones to dance and sing at the Guitar Man, John Henry, on Wednesday, July 17th at 5 p.m. Bring your own picnic frozen treats will be provided.
And so we're going to continue our tradition for birthdays. Advertising in the Garrett, but it's more of a thing. Rabbi, is your birthday in July? Okay.
I have no intention of telling.
Okay. I'll give you a little toy later.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. But and a cake. And yes, unfortunately they were out of cake pops, but we have
Oh, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So gone.
We do call it cake pop Shabbat. Say that 3 times fast. But we do have I think cupcakes this evening. So after we do Kiddush and Hamotzi, please in the lobby, please join us for a few sweets. Again, we welcome Rabbi Baer to our synagogue, and we're so happy to have him. And we'll conclude our service on page 62 with Yigdal. Yigdal Elohim Chai ve'yishtabach nimsa ve'enei tel metziuto echad ve'en yachid kechichudo nelam v'gam ein sof le'achduto ein lo demut haguf ve'ein guf lo na'aroch elav kedushato kadmon lechol davar asher nivra rishon ve'en reshit le'reshito Hino Adon Olam Bechol Notar Yoreh Gedulado Malchuto Shifat Nevuato Netano El Anshe Segulato V'Tifarto Lo Kam B'Yisrael Kemoshe O Navi Umabit Et Emunato Torat Menatan Le'amoel Hayad Nebio Neiman Beito Lo yachal Yisrael velo yamirato leolamim lezulato tzoveh v'yodea sitarenu mabiles of davar v'kadmato gomelis chesed kimifalo lo ten lerashara kerishato ishlach lekei shamin meshig nifto mekakei yeshuato Meitim Yekayel Berov Chasto Baruch Hadeyat Shem Dilato Meitim Yekayel Berov Chasto Baruch Hadeyat Shem Dilato. Turn to your neighbor in front of you and back of you. If you don't know them, introduce yourself. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.